And welcome back to the third part of this tutorial. So let's exit out and start work with add new data. So double click on the button add new data. Now before I can do anything, I'm going to copy the SQL statement inside this very function. Where is it? Right there. I'm going to grab hold of that SQL connection string, grab hold of that. And let's go back into my button, double click on that button again, paste that right in there. But before that, I'm going to use try, then in there I'm also going to use cache statement, exception, and right in here enter a message for my errors, whatever error I might run into. Dot show. I'm just going to use the system one, ex dot message. Okay, let's enter the ex in here. So this would be ex dot message. That should hopefully take care of whatever error I might run into. Now, so right in here, the next thing that I'm going to do now is let's come right underneath here and let's open up our database. So SQL dot open, and once it's open, I also want my query. The query is right up here. I declared it right up here somewhere. There we go. SQL query. I'll be using that in here. SQL query, that will be equals, we want the system to insert into membership. That is the name of my database, if you guys can still recall. Membership dot membership, that's the database name, dot the table name is also known as membership. And I will open up a bracket, and this very bracket is taking in the following: member ID, comma, first name, comma, all of those are from my database, surname, comma, I think I do have address, comma, I have postcode, let me check that, postcode, comma, I then have gender, and let's see if we can just fill up. Yeah, we should be able to do that. And I'll go to the next line. Gender, then we have mobile, comma, email. I might as well just take it to the next line. Press enter. Okay, we have email, and finally we have M type. Right, those are my columns. Now the next thing is going to be the value. So let's say the value, I'm going to enter plus in there, and the value that is going to be as follows. Let's say values, single quote, double quote, plus the first value is going to be txt member id dot text. That's my very first value, plus double quote, single quote, comma, single quote, double quote. Then the next one, this is going to be plus txt first name dot text. Right, so now I have my system now sorted, so I can just copy and paste that. The next one here, that is going to be txt surname dot text, paste, and we now have address, txt address dot text, paste. That's sorted. Then we need the postcode, txt postcode text, paste. Very good. Then we have gender, cbo gender dot text, paste. Now gender is in. We now need, let's come down here, enter the mobile, txt, that's mobile dot text, there. Now txt email text, paste, and finally cbo member type dot text, and that is plus quote single, open a bracket or close the bracket, and there we go. So those are my components that go straight into the tables. Total, that should be 9. Now we need a command. We need a command to, okay, let's first of all, let's say SQL command, that will be equals new object, new SQL command, and this new SQL command then takes in the query and also the connector. Now that that is done, we also want the system to read it. SQL read dot execute, or equals command equals SQL command dot execute reader. There. Once all of that is done, you must then close the SQL connector dot close and enter parentheses, and that is it, done. Okay, now that that is done, you see underneath here you can just say, let's say finally, I want you to just close everything for me, make sure it is closed, and once it's closed, I want the following to happen. I'm going to copy this, paste that underneath there, and right underneath here I'm now going to call my unload function. No, it's called upload data, the function, and yeah, I might as well call the reference number function as well. Reference number, ref number, yeah. I guess that is what it's called. No, that's a T. That should have been F. Right. And that's, I believe that's all there is to it for add new data. So have a good look at the lines of code, take it from here. Okay, that is for my server and so on. Now open the database. Now put together your SQL statement. Okay, enter all of the columns and the data that goes into the column, the location of the data. There they are. Okay, those are the text box and the combo box that I use. Now let me just save and run to confirm that it's working. Run. There we go, there's no error. Okay, let's enter data in here. That is my password, and the name is Johnny Davis, An address of Johnny Davis, that's going to be number 109 Goldstown. And here, mail, mobile number, yep, and the code. Email, Johnny@gmail, and member type annual. There, that is it. So decision time, I will now click on this. There we go, look at that. I've been able to add my data. Let's see if he's going to accept the same primary key. Nope, duplicate. Okay, thank you, it's working. And to then check if this information of John is added to my database, I'm going to click on the database here. Look at it, there's nothing in there, so I'm going to have to click on refresh. There we go, look at that. The information of Johnny is added to the database as well. That is brilliant. So let's exit out. There we go. Now the next thing that we want to do, let's double click on, you see this, let's double click on this and do as follows. No, we don't double click on it. Let's come straight to the properties and select event. Inside the event, and I want cell click right there. So double click on the cell click. So right inside the cell click, I'm going to start by entering try cache. Take care of my errors. So let's enter a cache statement here, copy that, paste that right underneath here. There. First of all, I'm going to add as follows. So whatever we have in there, once we click on it, I want the data to be displayed on the text box. That's the whole idea. So the very first text box is txt member ID. Txt member ID dot text, and that will be equals data grid view1 dot select rows, and that is going to be 0 dot cells, and the first one is on array 0 dot value and dot to string. There we go. So that is the very first one. So I might as well just copy this. I'll change the rest around anyway, or just copy this. The next one is going to be txt first name. So let's copy up to here and paste. So this one is going to be 1. txt surname, paste, and that is going to be 2. That's good. Yeah, that is good. And we have txt address dot text, that is 3. Visual Studio 2022 actually recognize what's happening, which is good. So we now want the next one, that will be CBO gender. There we go, that's fine. Now txt mobile and dot text. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, then we have mobile. We also need txt postcode dot text. That should be, yeah, that is correct as well. Then txt email. and finally CBO member dot text there, and that's it. Save that. If I run it now, I should be able to click on the data grid view, and whatever data I have on the data grid view should be distributed onto my data here. So if I click in here, check that out. You see that? That's the whole idea. That's very good. Now let's come down here. We now want to take care of display. Double click on display. Using try catch, all I just want the display to do as well is just to more or less search. So I'm going to copy that, paste that in here. So this one is going to be searching the data grid view for me. So I'm going to say data view. I'm going to call it DV. That will be equals SQL data dot default view and DV dot row filter. That will be equals string dot format. And what are you formatting? Let me use the first name. So if you enter first name, we should be able to find every other details. First name like, let's put that in percentage, and we have curly braces, 0 curly braces, and close the percentage with a percentage and close the single quote. Now comma txt search dot text. There we go. Alright, so that is done. So in that case, where shall we display the data we want? Where shall we get the data that we want displayed? Inside the data grid view dot data source, which is equals to dv dot to table. There we go, and that's it. So with this, if I have more than one record, it should be able to display the ones that I want. So let's save that, run it, and see how that's going to work. Let's see, it's coming up. So I'm just going to select this so that I can speed up things. Now the name here is Tony Johnson. And that's, and change the address, that's all road. Postcode, though that shouldn't be the postcode, that should have been mail, and this is the postcode. I think the arrangement is wrong. My arrangement seems to be wrong. Okay, now this one, that should have been postcode, and the order is right. So let's say Tony, J Tony. Tony happens to be monthly member. Now click on that. There we go. Okay, now let's assume we want to look for one of the members. Let's say we're looking for Johnny, and click on display. Only Johnny will be shown. Okay, that is how it works. I think the other one is Tony. Now click on display, and Tony's details is displayed as well. Okay, so that is fine, working as we want. Okay, there is something here I'd like you guys to have a look at. Look at that. So gender has changed. My code in here needs to be readjusted. So let's exit out. Okay, come right in here. The following needs to be changed. Postcode, I'm going to make that 4, and mobile, I'm going to make that 6. Then gender, I'm going to make that 5. So the arrangement should be something like this. Okay, I think that should get it sorted now. Okay, so let's save that and run it again. So each individual data should be in their right cells. So if I click on here, male, okay, that's fine. It's working as I want. That's very good. So we now need to take care of delete and the search button. Okay, let's exit out, and I'm going to click on the delete button here to start work on the delete. But first thing first, I need some data in here, so let me just copy. I'm going to copy everything that I have in here up to here. Just copy that. I'm actually copying the codes inside the add function. So let's go back to my delete button again. Just double click on it and paste that in here. Now I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need that. We have to write a different SQL statement for delete, and I'm going to get rid of the execute. Okay, now what we then need to do is to use command. Let's say SQL command dot command text, and inside the command text I'm going to enter my delete function, my delete SQL statement. Delete from membership dot membership dot membership. That's the name of my database, and the table is also known as membership, and that's going to be where member ID is equals at member ID. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do now is to now use command.new, okay, the object to refer to the query that we intend to delete and where the connection is. That is fine. Then we close the database. Okay, that is fine. Then the next thing that I want to do before I leave is, first of all, let's enter semicolon there. I now want to, whatever we delete, I want it deleted from the data grid view as well. So I'm going to use for each, let's say data grid view roles. I need roles. Let's say roles, might as well type it out. Role, yeah, this very one. For each data grid view role, item, in this data, that will be this dot data. That should be this dot data. This dot data grid view. This dot data grid view one dot select rows. Selected rows. Okay. Then in there, I will then say data grid view one dot role. Paste that there. Data grid view one dot roles. should be roles uppercase dot. I'd like you to remove at item index. Remove at item. No, I want item index. Item dot index. Index. There we go. And that is it. That is all there is to that. Okay, so I'm gonna save that, and let's just try it out and see. Okay, let's run it and see what's gonna happen. Hopefully that should work. Run. So there we go, we're running the system now. I am going to just more or less like clone this. Let's change the variable, or let's change the member ID. Then I'm gonna change the name to maybe Tony Allen, and I will now add Tony Allen details straight. Let's say a Tony here, and change this as well. Let's click on add. So click on add. There we go. So now let's get rid of one of these. Select that, and let's come in here and just click on delete. There we go. Look at that. We've got rid of that. But one other thing is, I've got rid of that, but I still have it on I still have it right here. Okay, so to do that, I might as well call this vary reset. Okay, let's add it again. I'm going to add that. Let's see. Oh, duplicate. It's not duplicate. Let's change that. Add. We have it back on the system. So I'm going to call this vary button to delete whatever I have in here. So let's exit out. Exit. Yes. Let's go back in here. So right here, I'm just going to call btn resets underscore click. So let's just call it all at one time. btn underscore click. Then get hold of sender.e. There we go. Right, that's all I need. So make sure it's saved. Run. So I'm going to now I should be able to delete them both. Okay, now select Johnson. Okay, now I have two of those because I click on it twice. Now delete. And whatever I delete, I should be able to delete everything in here as well. So click on delete. There we go. Look at that. That is fine. So we now need to take care of the search function. This one here should be able to search just by you typing a name in there. Let's assume we say if we have to look for Johnny. If you click on this, that should just display Johnny. It's just to filter it, and this one can just search by. We use this one to search by numbers. So I'm going to exit out. Let's click on the search button. Go right up there, double click on the search. Okay, for the search function, let's go back to my add button here. I'm just going to copy some other lines of codes in there. So maybe just get hold of all anyway. Just grab it up to here. Copy that again. Now let's double click on that very button. Double click on the search button. Paste that in there. Now what I don't need this. I don't need the connector. It doesn't need to be connected to anything. So get rid of that. Now here the query, I do need a query, but I don't need all of these, so just get rid of all of these here. In there, all we just need is, let's say select from, let's say select all. That should be star in this. Select all from membership dot membership. The membership, remember, like I said, that is the name of the database, and the table is also known as membership. That makes life easy for me. So select from membership, where mem ID is equals as follows. Let's enter an equals there, single quote and double quote, and it's going to be session inside txt search dot text. That's a plus, double quote, single quote, double, and there. That is my search SQL statement or lines of codes. Then you now use the command to carry out your execution here. That would be the system we have to read. Okay, then close the database, but before I close the database, I want to use an if statement here. Let's come down here to validate whatever we have. I'm going to copy the SQL reader. Now I'm going to say if SQL read dot read. In that case, I want the following to happen. So enter curly braces. I want it to filter through every single text. So every single component. I'm going to copy those components here instead of typing it all over. Just copy that and come right down here. Where am I? Yeah, that's my search. Paste that right in there. And I'm going to then delete everything in here. So let's just say reader SQL read dot get string. So come in here, paste that in there, dot get string, and the string that we get in the first instance, that will be member ID. There, you see how easy that is now. So I might as well just copy this and change it around for the others. Let's paste that in here. Now you guys understand why I copied it. So I will just change it, the data, to whatever I have on each column of my database. Right there. And there we go. And here, that's going to be first name. All is in lowercase. Then we have surname here. Change this to surname. I have address here. Then I have postcode. Here I have gender, mobile. Then email here. And finally I have member type, M type, I call that. There we go. Else, I just want a message box to say data not found. So we can just enter that in there. Message box dot show, let's say no such data, or no data found, something like that. No data found. We can just enter title for it, MySQL connector. then comma, enter another argument, comma, message box button dot OK. Another argument, message box. Okay, that would be error then. No. Okay, we can use error or information, whatever you want to use, that's fine. Alright, if you want to change this, all you need to do is select it and just enter a dot and you select whatever you want. I'm going to select information. Okay, just informing the user that the data is now found. Now, we also need to make sure we close the database, and that is all to the search function. Okay, have a good look at the lines of code for the search. Take it from here, bring it down, and that would be all. Let's just get this one. Let's press enter here to have it on 2 lines. Alright, so have a good look again. Take it from the top, search, bring it down there, and I'm going to save and run, and let's see how that works. Alright, so let's look for anybody in here. So I'm going to select these and just enter, let's say 455-354, search. There we go, look at that. That's Johnny Davis. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this very beautiful tutorial for beginners. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and please do subscribe to the channel. I am trying to get to 1 million subscribers, and hopefully I should be able to do that with your support. You all have a nice day now, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.